Welcome to the Social for Brokers podcast. Today I have with me Katie Dennehy, who is the digital account manager for Underwrite Me. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll recognise her face from being all over LinkedIn. And that's the exact reason why I've got Katie on the podcast today, to talk to us about the power of LinkedIn. We're going to talk about how it's helped her build her personal brand, but also how it's helped her generate new leads and strengthen relationships with her clients at Underwrite Me. Now, Katie's also going to talk through how we can sell more protection, because the Underwrite Me is a platform that has an arm of platform that helps with protection. We're going to talk about a few little tweaks that you can make to your pitches, to your sales calls, that are going to help. And we're also going to talk about women in protection, as Katie is an ambassador, which I saw scrolling through her LinkedIn content the other day. Now, I'm really looking forward to this one because everyone will know I'm a massive fan of LinkedIn myself. So I'm looking to pick up some tips, Katie. So no pressure, but I need some tips on LinkedIn if we could. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for popping on. So before we get into the main crux of the podcast, remind everybody that we have a weekly email go out, and it's full of tips, tricks, strategies on social media, how to use new features that are coming out. All you need to do is to go to socialforbrokers.com/blog, and you can sign up there for free, and we'll deliver an email every Wednesday. So now we've got that plug out the way, Katie, welcome to the podcast. Thanks very much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
This has been a few weeks in the making. We kind of cancelled because of Easter, and then we had internet issues last, Tuesday?
Yeah.
So we're back on it today. Finally got you on here. But I tell you what, before we get into the business stuff, and this is a new question I'm going to be asking, how do you take your tea or your coffee?
Oh, black coffee. No sugar.
Literally nothing.
Nothing else.
Nothing interesting about the hot drink. No milk, no frothy milk, no cappuccinos.
No, I'm a massive coffee drinker as well. You don't understand how much. This is to give you an example. Look at this mug. I drink about 3 of them in the morning.
Oh, so anybody that's listening to this, Katie just held up a Guinness mug, which is about as big as my head. Is it like a Sports Direct special? One of those?
Yeah,
remember those cups?
Much, yeah, but obviously a bit more classy. It's Guinness, you know.
Love it. So that's what keeps you fueled during the day. So give us a bit of a background to who you are, what you've done, and what you do on a day-to-day basis now.
So again, my name is Katie. I'm one of the digital account managers here at Underwrite Me. So for those who aren't familiar with Underwrite Me, we have a platform for brokers that helps them source life insurance. It's a fully underwritten portal as well, so that's what kind of stands us out from the rest. My role at Underwrite Me is basically introducing this platform to as many brokers as possible. I love promoting it on LinkedIn, which I'm sure we'll go into today. And it's just helping brokers with their internal processes, making it more efficient for them, and ultimately helping them sell more protection and deliver better customer outcomes.
Awesome. And that's something that we spoke about this before we started recording. It's a big area for mortgage advice. Well, it was a massive area for mortgage advisors to the tail end of last year when it got a bit quiet.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's picked up now, and it's a bit harder to get back into those protection conversations purely because of time, isn't it? Have you got any tips for mortgage advisors that maybe do both mortgage advice and protection conversations to split their time?
The way I always approach it, so I deal with many different types of advisors, and for mortgage brokers who do their own protection, I think what the hesitation tends to be is the time element. Mm-hmm. If you're looking at protection for your client, historically it's always been about, right, I ring round the insurers, I try and find this best outcome for them. But ultimately, you're going to be on the phone for a long period of time, just for one client as well. That's just for one client. You can spend hours worth of research. So that's where I kind of come in and be like, look, we've got a platform here that's going to take away a lot of that. Not all of it. There's some elements that we can't control, but we're going to take away a lot of that kind of frustration for you. So that's how I always kind of talk to advisors who do both.
Give them the time back. And we had a conversation again before we hit record is, if you are a mortgage advisor that is really busy, instead of doing the protection yourself, try and team up with another protection
Yeah.
advisor that specializes in this space, because they have the time, they have the processes, they have the systems, and you can take a nice bit of commission off the back of that, can't they?
Yeah, I think that again, the way I always see the best setup is if you've got a protection specialist within the business that you can feed that to, or you
Okay.
outsource it, and that way it's everyone's getting service at the end of the day, so
Yeah.
that's most important.
So there you go. There's a tip for you guys. If you can afford it, and I suppose that protection specialist could be on a self-employed basis within the
100%.
company, couldn't they? But somebody that, I know there's a few, and I'm sure if you reach out to Katie, if I'm sure you know some protection specialists that work on a like a referral basis. So
Oh
uh,
yeah, 100%. Yeah, I do.
reach out to Katie, and they'll be able to give you a hand. But you were a protection specialist beforehand, weren't you? You was an insurance advisor before you started doing this.
Yes. So I started off in insurance back in 2016, and I actually started in Australia.
Ah,
So I worked for
nice.
a direct insurer over there, and then when I came back to England, I think maybe 5 or 6 years now, I came to a broker in Manchester, and that's how I got introduced to Underwrite Me because they use the platform as well. Um, so that's
God,
how.
so you moved back from why move back from Australia to Manchester?
Joe, everyone asks me that question every time I bring it up. I'm like, oh yeah, I started up here. Um, so I think back in 2018, I don't know if you're familiar with what happened over there, but their
No.
equivalent of the FCA is ASIC, and
Okay.
I think they were missing something or they weren't doing something, and then the Royal Commission got involved in investigating the whole industry in terms of
Wow.
processes, how you source leads, how you incentivize staff. So a load of people had to like restructure their processes and got rid of sales and things like that. So my visa was tied to the company. And then
Oh,
I had 6 weeks to find something else or leave the country after being there nearly like 3 years.
Oh
So
no, what a shame. Would you go back?
I would say never. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm very happy where I am, but
Hmm.
we've got we've got an office in Australia. So, if there's opportunity, then
Oh,
maybe.
nice.
Yeah.
There we go. If anybody at Underwrite Me's listening, then Katie would like a repatriation over to Australia. Okay.
Happy where I am. Just for clarification, I am.
Yeah.
But if it's an amazing opportunity, who knows, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Never say never.
So we've talked about Underwrite Me, what you guys do, how you do it. Talked about the protection specialist within the company, which I think is really valuable. Now I'd really like to get into LinkedIn. We're just going to talk about LinkedIn here. And we're going to touch a bit on TikTok because LinkedIn is where the majority of your clients are, aren't they?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
And this can apply to mortgage advisors as well. So everything we're going to speak about here, you can apply to your business. Now, obviously, Katie's niche is mortgage advisors. That's her niche. But as a mortgage advisor, your niche could be, I don't know, doctors, NHS specialists, whoever it might be. So a lot of this can have the same effect on LinkedIn. So the first thing is you're nearly at 7,000 followers on LinkedIn, aren't you? And the reason I think personally looking at your content is the posts that you put out there are really engaging, really personal. But how does somebody write a good LinkedIn post?
How I position it is like, so okay, I need to think about what are the frustrations with my mortgage brokers, right? So
Okay.
if it's time, then I'm going to be like something around time that's going to
Hmm.
catch their eye, or it could be doing too many applications. Again, it's just that kind of tagline, that their pain point that I'm going to help them with straight after. So that's
Okay.
how
So
I
that pain
kind of,
point you put at the very top line.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Or about, oh my
Okay.
god, no way, and everyone's a bit nosy, aren't they? They go, so
Hit the city wall.
mainly pain points, but sometimes I'll be like, oh my god, no way, and then they're like, I know you're going to drop down on that.
Cling. Well, so that was the reason I was saying that the drop down has been so effective over the years. So when we say drop down, what people would do is put in the top line, they would put something that would essentially like a newspaper headline, put that
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
top line, and then people press see more to read the rest of the post. It's just come out last week that LinkedIn is So when you pressed on the see more button before, it counted as like an interaction on your post, but LinkedIn are scrapping that now
Oh, I didn't
because,
know that.
yeah, because a lot of people were, and Katie didn't do this, but a lot of people were doing like 3 line breaks. So you had to press see more to read any of the content. So it was like a bit of you were duped into it. Whereas
Right.
what I'm talking about here and what Katie's talking about is that first line added value straight away.
Mm,
It's almost like if you're lacking time submitting applications, then try this. And then
yeah.
people would read on because it's got value.
Yeah.
Okay. So with the top line of that engagement, so get your customers' pain points. How do you find your customers' pain points? How do you get those?
I think it helps just having a really good understanding of because I used to do protection previously, um,
Okay.
and I speak to obviously advisors all day every day. I really know their processes and what frustrates them. Really, I mean,
Yeah.
essentially that's why the protection platform is what it is. It knows the pain points. We all know that it's a pain ringing around all the insurers being on hold for 20 minutes. So it's it's just find the solution for them. It's like,
Yeah.
but here's the problem, here's the solution, here's the problem, here's the solution. That's how I kind of tend to do things. Or the others is just really promoting it. I think it's okay. I can talk about it till I'm blue in the
Blow
face.
the face. Yeah.
I love it. I believe in the product, but I really find good value when I'm sharing feedback from other people and tagging them in it. Like I'm always like, oh, can
Okay.
I get some feedback? Can I just tag you in it? Because again, people might go, oh, they're using it. Oh, that's their feedback. Oh, okay. And the amount of people that I'll get right and who I've approached in the past that I've gone and they've
Yeah.
said no to me and they'll inbox me and go, right, okay, come on, can we set up a meeting? Can we give it a go? So it does
It's that
help.
social proof, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
saying Mary Smith uses this software, and then if Mary Smith has 5 friends that you might have approached in the past, it's a lot easier to start that conversation, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, exactly that.
Perfect. Then the next bit of content that we're going to speak about, and this is probably going to be a big conversation, is talking about being vulnerable on social
Yeah.
media. So, do you feel that being vulnerable on social media helps?
I've only recently done that.
Hmm.
So I probably haven't got too much of a full opinion on that. I think the first one that I did um, was around no makeup for women.
Okay, yeah.
Because it's a faff. I know I've done my hair and makeup today for you guys, but it's if I've got no meetings, it's a lot easier just to be natural and
Yeah.
and it was nice to see some comments off a few of the women in the industry being like, "Oh my god, I feel the same. Oh my god, and we shouldn't have to wear makeup and all this. I'm so glad you raised this. And I've never really thought about it like that, and it was nice to kind of get that kind of conversation going.
Hmm.
And then the second post that I did, um, quite a hot topic, I think.
Is so this is the one, and I hope you don't mind. Do you mind if I read
No,
it out? And I've spoken to Katie about this beforehand, that she's comfortable me reading it out. So I'm going to read this post here, and talking about vulnerability. You talked about the post that you did about should we wear makeup, and that was just a selfie of you with no makeup on, wasn't it? And that was quite hard hitting. Then a few days later, Katie put this post out. So it was a photo of you with your dog, wasn't it?
yeah.
Quite a personal photo already. And this is exactly what it said. I'm going to read it word for word. So it says, the lead up to this birthday has been a little bit different. 35 seems like a tipping point. Some of us are pushing our careers, and some are probably thinking, is it time to start thinking about kids because that biological clock keeps ticking? It does make me think, if I push my career now, is there a chance I'll miss my opportunity to have children of my own? If I do have kids soon, can I get back to the point in my career before kids and pick up where I left off? I know not everyone chooses to have a family, but these thoughts do circle my mind for anyone that is thinking about family life. That was quite a powerful post. And then you tagged Sarah Tucker in, who has been doing Diary of a CEO herself, but coming back from maternity leave.
Yeah.
How did that post go down, Katie?
Um, Majority of it went really, really, really well. I think um, I've I had thought about this post for a while. Again, it was the lead up to the birthday. These are the thoughts that were
Okay.
on my mind. I know it's quite a hot topic within my friendship group at the moment. And then I saw Sarah Tucker's post about it's not career suicide being a mum. And I thought, do you know what? Like let's talk about this.
Hmm.
And I tagged her in it because it was such a powerful post how she had a baby in her peak of her career. So I
Hmm.
tagged her in it in the sense of look at this post. If you've not seen it, go see it. Like
I'm
for
glad
anyone
that
thinking like
somebody's
me,
talking about it. Yeah, that's it. And
yeah,
it's that it almost gives you permission, not permission, the right word, but if somebody else is talking about it, well, I feel I can talk about it. And it's something that is huge because, you know what I mean? It's something that we speak about. It should be spoken about more,
yes.
but it's very hard to be that vulnerable. And I'm glad that you got the support off the back of it.
Yeah, I think my point with that was like, if you've not seen this post and you are thinking how I'm thinking, let this hopefully be a bit of inspiration. Um, I think the first comment that came on was I think they said in the post that they felt like this supported the narrative of, us having to choose. Um, it's probably not your intention, for example.
Hmm.
Um, so that was a bit. I was like, oh God, what have I opened this up? Am I going to get a lot of negativity from this? I did think my heart sank. I'm not going to lie. I don't
Hmm.
usually have a lot of negativity on my posts. So if this does happen, I will take it like really to
Personally,
heart
yeah.
because I feel like I've built a really good network of people. Like I've got a lot of friends within the industry. So first, my heart just went. I was just like, oh God, like I don't want to upset people. That's definitely not my intention. And I've responded, everyone's opinion is valid, everyone's
Yeah.
experiences are different. I completely understand that, and I'm not here to say that my opinion's right or anything like that. I think I did respond and I was like, look, that's definitely not my intention. The reason why I tagged Sarah was because it was a great example that you can potentially have it both.
Hmm.
And then the comment did get deleted, so I don't know whether they thought about it afterwards or not, but the majority of the responses were really well, and I got inboxes as well to say thanks for highlighting, because it was nice to see some people have really positive experiences. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And that's something. The reason I wanted to highlight that particular post about being vulnerable is, look, that's something that's much bigger than social media. That's much bigger than business, working in a career, whether you're self-employed, employed. But the reason I brought that up is it's because I wanted to kind of show how supportive social media can be in these instances.
yeah,
And
100%.
although people have different opinions, that person sounds like they put their comment across in quite an articulate way that
Mm.
didn't get you I don't think you could be a person that could be angry at a comment, but didn't make you get your back up and go, oh, this is my opinion and this is how it should be looked. But it helped start the conversation.
Yeah.
And I think it leads us perfectly into that women in protection. Can you talk
Yeah.
to us a bit about that and how that's working at the moment and what you're doing with that?
Yeah, so this is just very recent. So I'm still quite new to the whole ambassador thing, but I think doing posts like this will really support the women in protection.
Hmm.
There's the conference coming up in the 2nd of May. Um,
Okay, awesome.
so I will be speaking there. I don't know whether I can say
How do you feel?
that. Yeah, so I'll be up there talking with one of my other colleagues. So yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So, and this is the type of thing that's great on social media because it's, I know you're the Women in Protection, you're doing it for a specific purpose, but it allows you to talk about stuff. It creates content, and anybody out there that's has been given an opportunity to go and speak at an event or do a collaboration with somebody, jump at the chance, because
Yeah.
even if nothing comes directly from that opportunity, which nobody's ever going to come up and say, I saw you at X event, therefore I want to do business with you. What it does do is it allows you to create content. You can write a blog post about it. You could do a podcast episode. You could do videos. You could do graphics, visuals, photos, whatever it might be. go and do those opportunities because it will allow you to create more content off the back of it. That's what I would say.
Oh God, yeah, 100%.
Leads me perfect into the next question. And this is a biggie. What's your mix of business and personal content on social media? How many photos do you upload of your dog? And I don't know what's your dog's name. Sorry.
So, and I need to do full disclosure here. He's actually my housemate's dog, but I co-parent with him.
This is the
I live with
dog
him.
influencer. You need
Yeah.
to start renting him.
He's too cute. He's called Bernie. But yeah,
Oh, lovely.
I do a handful of it. I don't post every day. I probably do about 3 posts a
Okay.
week. I think my content's probably changed a little bit this year, I would say. I did do quite a lot of like quirky TikToks, which kind of
Yeah.
started the whole social media thing. It's quite difficult to think of ideas, if I'm completely honest. I'm there scrolling, especially when you're trying to relate it to a platform as well and trying to relate it to brokers. I'm trying to think of funny things, but it's again, probably the more vulnerable post recently is getting a lot more traction.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say this year has probably been more around educational content
Okay. Yeah.
or events or vulnerability, but previously it probably was a bit more of the funny side and TikTok and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah. So I
yeah,
remember seeing you, I think first hearing about you on TikTok, you were doing like the funny posts, the
yeah.
engaging posts. What would you say to people that are trying to do LinkedIn and TikTok at the same time? How did you find time wise for that? What were your struggles?
The struggles is the ideas with TikTok. I think, if I'm completely
Okay.
honest, I think that's probably what that was one of my biggest hurdles. Um,
Okay.
Again, it's just relating it to relating it to our platform. I used TikTok mainly for LinkedIn anyway. I kind of created the video on there mainly for LinkedIn. LinkedIn's always been my main source of kind of promotion or leads or anything like that. So that's always been number one. TikTok was
Okay.
just a bit of a side thing that I just created the video, and then I was like, oh well, I'm adding loads of people on LinkedIn. Oh, why don't I just add loads of people? Well, sorry, loads of brokers on LinkedIn. Why don't we just do the same for
Yep.
TikTok? So I think my perception of that is um, I think with TikTok or Instagram or Facebook, it's a lot more for the brokers with the public. And I think
Okay.
LinkedIn,
Yeah.
because brokers are like, it's B2B, isn't it?
Hmm.
Like brokers are on
Yeah.
there to promote everyone's businesses. So their eye catching is going to be a lot more than if I was promoting it on TikTok, because there's a whole mixed bag of the public and brokers. So that's kind of I might be completely wrong. I mean, I
No,
absolutely
no.
all the time. So
No, I wanted you to say that because what you've done is you've looked at all the platforms and gone, right, where does my ideal client hang out?
yeah, pretty much.
And that's LinkedIn. Okay. Yes, they probably do spend time on the likes of Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. Ideally, you want to be on them all. And
Yeah, yeah,
as I said, I think for you, it's a bit different being a B2B service, whereas mortgage brokers B2C, mortgage brokers B2C content can be used on a lot of the same platforms. So
yeah,
I'd recommend uploading it via Buffer to Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn at the same time because it gives
yeah,
you that presence.
yeah,
Whereas with you, your ideal client is hanging out on LinkedIn. I
yeah.
like the idea with the TikTok videos, and it does take time. It's very energy sapping. And you said you found yourself scrolling on TikTok for ideas and then going down a complete wormhole.
Yeah, that's it. And I was very conscious about I'm spending so much time scrolling and I'm not getting any not wasn't getting where I wanted to be quick enough, should I say. 'Cause I'm like, all right, I need 3 ideas for next week. And I'm just like scrolling and I'm like, oh, I'm not finding anything and I'm spending so much time on it. And
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's
If you are looking, anybody listening, if you are looking for trending audios, I'm not a huge fan of trending audios, to be honest, because you're pinning all your hopes on this. But trending videos, if you Google Hey Orca, as in ORCA, as in the whale, I'm
okay.
right in saying that before I make a fool of myself. It is if you go onto Hey Orca, type in Hey Orca trending, they have a blog article that's
Oh,
released each week, and they release the top Instagram Reels trends and the top TikTok trends.
wow.
So if
Oh,
you are somebody that's scrolling through TikTok going, oh, what do I
really
post
good.
this week?
Yeah.
It's great and it's free. They did used to put it in a Google Sheet up until February, but they've stopped doing it and just put it on their blog. So go and take a look at that. Okay, so before we get into the strategy question, we're going to make a £10 donation to say thank you for coming on the podcast. Which charity would you like us to make the donation to?
I would like you to donate to Mind charity, please.
Perfect. We will make that
Thank you.
donation for you.
That's
Perfect.
nice.
So that's okay. Well, I think we're up at 100 and about 140 people we've interviewed now.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's like nearly 1,500 quid donated to charity over the, again, making a fool of myself if that's the right maths. I'm pretty sure it is. But yeah, I think it's a great way. It's a way to say thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
So I know this is a bit different to your business, but we're going to pretend that you've moved to the north of Scotland. You've got a laptop, a mobile phone, and an internet connection. What would your first few days look like to start generating new business?
I'm a massive people person.
Okay.
I would be local. I'll be talking to everybody local first.
Okay, love it. So mobile phone, internet, phone, leave it
That's
at
a
home.
secondary thing for me. So, like,
Ah,
I would. I mean, I'm terrible. Even when I went to Dublin. This is how random I am. I went to Dublin in January,
yeah.
and there was a couple next to us, and just started chatting away to them. And then she ended up working for this broker thing. I'm like, oh yeah, come on, add me on LinkedIn. I was like, yeah, this is what we do. And my other half was just like, oh my god, like. But that I would be more person, introduce myself, and then I'd be oh okay,
Yeah.
yeah, let's link up on LinkedIn or whatever. That then the
So the
like,
social media would be like a secondary thing.
yeah,
So it would be about getting into the local community, integrating yourself, getting people to know you, local pubs, local clubs, all that type of thing.
because it's hard to make as much of an impact. I think if someone you meet somebody face you instantly know whether you get on with them or you what kind of
Yeah.
person that they are. And you know, oh, do you know what? They were really nice. They were really chatty. Yeah, and then oh, is this what they do on LinkedIn? Oh, that's good. And then it's more of an impact when you do face to face. I think so. I'd go
So
local and
get
then
local first and leave all the technical stuff at home and then start building it when you get back home. Yeah. Love
that's
that.
what.
And that's why I asked that question, because everybody's got so many different answers. Personally, I thought, because we were talking about LinkedIn, I thought you'd have said, right, I'll get on LinkedIn. Doesn't matter where I am in the UK, I'll connect with everybody. Whereas what you've said, it's interesting to say, I'll go local first.
Yeah, and but then I'll be like, oh, add me on LinkedIn, and then
Hmm.
then they'll be connected. You know, then if they like something of mine, then it opens up to theirs, and it's a big roll on effect. Then instead of me just adding
Yeah,
them, thinking, who's this random person, and they might not interact with my post. Whereas if they've met me and they go, oh yeah, that's that person that I met. Oh yeah, I like that, and it just not like a
opens up. And that's where LinkedIn is fantastic for that,
yeah.
because if anybody interacts with your post, if they comment, share, like your post, it normally gets pushed out to their audience. That's why I think LinkedIn is so big at the minute. Well, Katie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Thanks for sharing half an hour of your time, your wisdom, your knowledge around LinkedIn. Where's the best place? And I think we know the answer to this. Where's the best place for people to connect with you?
Obviously LinkedIn if possible. I am on TikTok as well, so it's Dens83, but obviously Katie Dennehy on LinkedIn.
Perfect. And the spelling of Dennehy is Dennehy.
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect. Great. And we'll tag you all in the posts as well for this podcast going live. Katie, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Really appreciate your time.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.